Taehyung shocked. JUNGKOOK'S decision in LA shakes BTS. What happened? Hello everyone. Before we dive deep into the story, the twists, the confessions, and the decision that would leave Taehyung in disbelief, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. Because what I'm about to tell you is not just another BTS headline, it's a story of loyalty, dreams, and the quiet moments that speak louder than words. The night began like any other electric BTS performance in LA. The air was thick with excitement, the streets buzzing with armies from every corner of the globe. Fans clutched banners, their hands trembling not from the cool California breeze but from anticipation. Inside the stadium, purple light sticks swayed like a living ocean, moving in rhythm with the heartbeat of the crowd. On stage, Jungkook was flawless, his voice slicing through the night like a warm blade, his movements sharp yet effortless. Taehyung was his usual charismatic self, his deep voice resonating through the crowd, eyes scanning the audience as if he could see every single face in that massive sea of people. But behind the flawless performances, something was different. Observers noticed subtle glances, a moment when Jungkook's smile didn't quite reach his eyes, and a split second when Taehyung's expression froze mid-song, almost as if he was processing something he couldn't quite believe. What could shake someone like Taehyung, a man known for his calm composure? The answer wouldn't come until later that night, but the first clues were already there. The backstage area was quieter than expected after such a high-energy show. Staff members moved around with the mechanical efficiency of a well-oiled machine, packing up equipment, checking schedules, making sure every detail for the next performance was locked in place. But in one small corner of the dressing room, Jungkook sat alone, his phone in hand, staring at the screen as though it contained a decision he couldn't take back. A few feet away, Taehyung entered, still catching his breath from the encore. "You good?" he asked casually, expecting the usual nod or grin from his friend. Instead, Jungkook looked up, his eyes heavy, and said something that made Taehyung stop in his tracks. We don't know the exact words, but eyewitnesses say Taehyung's entire demeanor shifted. One moment, his body language was relaxed, the next, he stood perfectly still, his brows knitting together as though he had just been told something unthinkable. And from that moment on, the energy between them changed. Some say Jungkook's decision had been building for months. Others believe it was a last-minute choice, triggered by something that happened in LA. Whatever it wasn't just about music, it was personal, and it was serious. As the night wore on, the two appeared together at an after-party, but fans watching the clips later noticed how different they seemed. Jungkook stayed close to the sidelines, avoiding the spotlight, while Taehyung mingled but often glanced toward him, as if silently asking questions. One fan described it perfectly in a tweet that went viral: "It's like Jungkook was there, but somewhere else entirely." The speculation began immediately. Was Jungkook planning a solo project that might take him away from BTS for a long time? Was there a disagreement about the group's future? Or, was this something even deeper, something that had been unspoken for years? To understand the weight of this moment, we have to rewind, not just to earlier this year, but to the very beginning. Jungkook joined BTS as a teenager, pulled from his hometown into a world of intense training and endless expectations. Taehyung entered the group shortly after, their bond forged in late-night practices, shared struggles, and the kind of inside jokes only brothers in arms can understand. They weren't just colleagues, they were family. And yet, family can be complicated. As Jungkook grew older, so did his ambitions. His solo performances, his collaborations with international artists, his own music, all of it began painting a picture of a man standing at the crossroads. Stay on the well-trodden path with BTS, or venture into the unknown. That night in LA may have been the moment he chose. One crew member reportedly overheard fragments of a conversation, words like timing, freedom, and risk. They weren't the kind of things you say if you're just planning your next photo shoot. These were the words of someone about to make a leap, and someone else realizing they might be left behind. For Taehyung, hearing this in the very city where BTS had some of their greatest triumphs must have felt like déjà vu twisted into something painful. After all, LA was the place where BTS first made history at the American Music Awards, where they first tasted the surreal level of fame in the West, and where they had spent late nights laughing in hotel rooms, dreaming about the future. Now, it was the place where a different kind of conversation was unfolding, one that could change everything. And here's the most haunting part, neither of them made any public statement in the days that followed. They smiled for cameras, they posted on social media, but if you looked closely, you could see the distance. A slightly different tone in their interactions, a little more space between them on stage, the absence of certain playful moments fans had come to love. So what exactly did Jungkook decide? And why did it leave Taehyung so shocked? The truth may be more complex than anyone realizes, and in the second half of this story, we're going to piece together every clue, every whisper, and every moment leading up to the decision that could shake BTS to its core. Because sometimes, the loudest earthquakes begin in silence. The morning after the LA concert, the city felt different. The streets were still scattered with remnants of purple confetti, a silent reminder of the night before. But inside a quiet hotel lounge, away from cameras and fans, a conversation was taking place that would never make it into official BTS documentaries. Jungkook sat across from Taehyung, coffee untouched, his gaze fixed on the sunlight breaking through the blinds. Taehyung, usually the one to fill silences with his deep, warm voice, stayed quiet. He was waiting for Jungkook to repeat what he had said backstage, to confirm it hadn't just been exhaustion or a moment of doubt. Finally, Jungkook spoke. His words were calm, measured, almost rehearsed. He told Taehyung that he had been thinking about this for months, maybe even years. That as much as BTS was his home, his family, his life, there was a part of him that needed to see what he could become on his own. Not just a side project, not just a temporary break, a real step into the unknown. It wasn't that he didn't love the group. Quite the opposite. That was what made the decision so difficult. But he feared waking up one day and wondering what might have been if he had taken the risk. One thing is undeniable, BTS has always been more than music. They are a living testament to friendship, resilience, and the courage to face the future, even when it's uncertain. And maybe, just maybe, that's what will carry them through this moment too. Because if history has taught us anything, it's that the strongest bonds aren't the ones that never face challenges, they're the ones that survive them.